Hi, I'm Pat. All right, the directions in this problem are to simplify the radical expression. And the thought process you want to use here is first, what kind of root do you have? Like, what's the index? This is a square root. In some of your other problems, it might be a cube root or a fourth root. But first, let's hone in on that. It's a square root. Because then what you want to do is you're looking to break apart the factors that are underneath that radical. And I'm stressing factors. Make sure we have multiplication, not addition. So we're looking at factors like the 72, and then separately the x cubed. And you're looking to break those factors down into perfect squares. And that's why I wanted to focus on the fact that this is a square root. I'm going to be looking for perfect squares. In a different problem, if you have a cube root, you're going to be looking for perfect cubes. Okay? And this is what I mean by that. In this problem, square root, so I'm looking for perfect squares. I'm going to rewrite 72 as 36 times 2. You have to agree with me that that's the same as 72, but this is better in this case because 36 is a perfect square. I will be able to bring that out of the square root because I know what the square root of 36 is. And that's what I mean by perfect square. Okay. Similarly, though, even with the variables, x cubed, you can break that down into x squared times x, which again, you'll agree with me that that's the same. X squared times x is x cubed. But I broke it down because I know what the square root of x squared is. This is a perfect square. Okay? All of that is under the radical. Okay, so now in my next step, as I mentioned, with this breakdown, I know what the square root of 36 is. It's 6. And I know what the square root of x squared is. I think it's just x. And then square root, and this 2, and this single factor of x are still stuck under the radical. So make sure you write 2x under the radical. Okay? All right, now, one thing I got to point out is that when I said that I think I know what the square root of x squared is, I think it's x, it's actually not. You might remember this. It's actually absolute value of x, okay? And so I would feel better about putting absolute values here, except I know that x has to be positive, and I know that because there's still an x under the radical, right? So if this x were a negative value, this square root wouldn't make sense to me. So I don't need those absolute values, but only because there's still a factor of x under the radical. All right? Hope that helped. I definitely hope you do some more on your own.